Hello, my name is Enya and I'm from Germany.
Hi, my name is Tati and I'm also from Germany.
So thanks so much for joining me today. I wanted to go over with you just a couple of slang words and idioms that are used in American English. And as I understand it, the two of you, both grew up learning English. It's obviously not your native language, but you've both been speaking it for a few years now. And I was kind of curious, how knowledgeable are the two of you with slang? Yeah.
Slang?
No, not at all.
Maybe I know some from, movies or from the internet, but not at all. Not a lot.
Okay.
Yes.
What about you, Tati?
Maybe some general stuff from what they use in movies and maybe in the everyday language, but I would say most of it, I don't know.
Okay. All good, no worries. All right, so for this first one, what do you two think is the meaning behind hit the ground running?
Hit the ground running.
I've heard that before.
Hit the ground running.
Hit the ground running. Oh god, I don't remember.
You can take a guess.
Maybe when everything is set in motion, you take this opportunity to, do some stuff.
Did you just do something very fast? You need to react very fast, and then you're like, okay. No.
Okay. Your definition is closer to the actual definition. So hit the ground running is basically saying it's like you're ready to work immediately on a new activity, or you seize a new opportunity and you go at it full speed with a lot of enthusiasm.
Oh.
So let's say, for example, the two of you are about to enter university, right?
Yes.
So, and you're both going abroad for university. So you could say that, as soon as I get to the Netherlands, I'm going to hit the ground running.
Or just to enthusiastically start
school.
Start doing something. It's with the start.
Because it's saying as soon as you get there, you're just immediately diving headfirst into this activity.
Okay, I didn't know about that one.
Next up, this one gets used a lot, especially by the younger people in the US. What do you think is FOMO? FOMO.
FOMO. Oh, so this is an idiom?
Not really.
More like a slang?
It's more of a slang, not an idiom.
Okay, is it more like I don't know.
It stands for something.
It stands for friends? FOMO, bro, something.
Is it like an abbreviation?
Yes, it's an abbreviation.
So normally it's a longer word.
Yes.
Formality. Can you give us an example?
Phone.
Okay, here's a hint. Earlier, when you were looking at your phone, right, and you saw that your siblings were meeting up in Berlin, your parents were going into the mountains, how did that make you feel?
I want to be there too.
Jealous?
Okay.
Is it jealous or is
it has to do with it. Okay, do you give up? Okay, I'll give you the first word. The F stands for fear.
Fear of
missing out?
Yes!
So
fear of missing out, okay.
Fear of missing out, yeah. So a lot of people, instead of saying I'm so scared missing out on something, they would just say I'm going to have FOMO. So what you were feeling earlier was you felt FOMO over your family doing things without you. Yeah.
Well, they're going to be FOMO.
The meaning behind it is having the feeling that other people are experiencing something more fun and interesting than you are, and you desperately wish to be a part of it.
Okay.
So for this next one, it's hit the nail on the head.
To
To
hit the nail on the head. What does it mean to hit the nail on the head?
Exactly what the
what the point is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty close. It's it's finding exactly the right answer or to know what exactly is causing a situation or problem.
It's a bit thing.
Yeah. So for example, like when we were guessing FOMO just now, I mean, you needed a hint, but as soon as I gave the hint about fear, Enya was actually able to complete it. So she hit the nail on the head with her response. Next up, we have beat around the bush.
To avoid.
What does it mean to beat around the bush?
Okay, to avoid a certain subject to be talked about, or to kind of avoid a thing. I think the bush is kind of the thing that one person wants to avoid, and then
Yeah, actually, you got it pretty. You're pretty spot on with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's like there's a bush, and then you're going around the bush instead of like going through it. So it is in conversation. It's to talk about something, but you're not getting to the main point. Usually used to describe a person who is delaying or avoiding talking about something that's difficult or unpleasant. So
for them.
Yes. So would you two know how to use this in a sentence?
Maybe if, let's say, Tatiana keeps avoiding a certain subject, I'm going to say, don't beat around the bush, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Don't do that. Don't beat around.
Directly.
Get to the point.
Yeah. Okay, that's pretty good. Pretty spot on. Next up, hop on the bandwagon.
Maybe just like flow with the flow.
Yes, in a way it's like go with the flow
But go with the flow of what? Yes.
Go with the trend of what everybody's doing.
Okay,
What everybody's hyped about.
Yeah, okay, that's pretty close. Yeah, to join, support, or follow someone or something after it's gained popularity.
Yes.
So maybe an example would be when like the iPhone came out, maybe you weren't so willing to buy an iPhone, but you saw that everybody was buying one, and because of that, it made you also want to go out and buy one. So you would be hopping on the bandwagon in that case. You've probably heard me use this several times when we've hung out. What does cross that bridge when we get there mean?
So it basically means that when you have a problem or a topic you need to talk about or you need to solve, that you just delay dealing with it, and then at that time, you're just gonna deal with it.
Okay, that's really good. How would you use that in a sentence?
Well,
or give an example. You can give an example of a scenario.
Okay, yeah. For example, I'm overthinking my life in university. I'm like thinking, how are my students?
How I'm gonna deal with the test, for example.
For the exams. Yes.
Okay.
And then I would say, Enya, you can cross that bridge when you get there because now you don't know anything yet. So
you don't have enough information, so you'll cross that bridge. You'll deal with the problem when the time comes. Okay. What does it mean when something costs an arm and a leg?
That it's very, very expensive. Or
that you have to sacrifice a lot for a thing to happen or to get something.
You can also, I think, say it when you do something.
When you have to expend a lot of some type of resource, right, to get this thing that you want. Most of the times it is alluding to like money. So going back to the example of iPhone from earlier, an iPhone is expensive. So you can say that, buying an iPhone, that costs me an arm and a leg. It's like, you have to sell off your body parts to like be able to afford this thing.
Sell your organs.
Yes. Or, buying a plane ticket from Taiwan to the US right now costs an arm and a leg, right? What does it mean to beat a dead horse?
Like, keep doing something even though it's already finished or it doesn't make any sense anymore.
Or doing something in vain.
Yeah, actually, they're both of your explanations are pretty pretty accurate. So it's like wasting time and energy on a situation that cannot be resolved. How would you use that in a sentence?
Maybe someone is so focused on doing one thing, and it has like nothing comes to fruition. You're beating a dead horse right now. Stop doing that.
All right, you two, we are now approaching the finish line. So the last one I want you to answer for me is, what does it mean to take something for granted?
Ooh. Well, it's something that you don't appreciate, or it's not common that it's there, but you don't appreciate it.
I think, for example, in Taiwanese education system, or just generally, there are parents that take it for granted that teachers need to educate their children and, somewhat be their babysitter. And parents also are responsible for, educating their children, but they, kind of don't appreciate the work behind a teacher.
But also that students, often they don't really appreciate that they have access to education, so they just take this whole system for granted.
Both of your definitions were pretty accurate. To take something for granted, it means, yes, to never think about something because you believe it'll always be available to you and stay exactly the same. So in other words, to not fully appreciate what you already have. All right, great. I would say that, you two, not being native English speakers, got most of these down pretty well, except for, FOMO, because those are very, very, very much more recent slang. So, yeah, but I would say that you two pretty good, did pretty well.
Thank
on
you.
this.
That's
Okay.
Yes, we feel very happy about this. Yes.
Well, thanks a lot for playing along and for sharing your thoughts.